Welcome to Epic Tales and Critical Fails, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remastered podcast. Prepare for adventure, terror, and the occasional use of bad language. We're a rules-light podcast. We don't agonize over the rules because, quite frankly, there's a lot of them, and we will get them wrong occasionally, so be kind. We're also using hero points slightly differently. No one gets them at the beginning of a session. Instead, the players accrue them during the game, and they can have a maximum of 3 at any one time. But if the worst happens, they have to spend them all to stay alive.
I'm Laura, and I play Katarra, a sneaky, stealthy sailor, or pirate, depending on your point of view.
I'm Lucy, and I play Bethilde, landlady of the Wandering Barnacle and grandmotherly gnome.
I'm Mike, and I play Bertie Bunce, halfling cleric of Pharasma.
I'm Maddy, and I play Minesh Adon, a tempestuous root leshy of death.
I'm Kyle, I play the vastly knowledgeable and cunningly clever Xander Dante.
And I'm Michael, I'm your GM, and I play everybody else. We left our intrepid bunch of adventurers last time around. You had, in your first episode, managed to defeat a walking brewing machine and make some friends, intimidate some guards, promise to fill out a customer service satisfaction survey, and then ran away from the Grand Bazaar in Absalom because your kobold companion stole a hat. You've made your way through the coins to the back streets where you have found a shop with a leaded bay window in an unremarkable building where a riot of colours of exotic plants grow in pots, tubs, troughs, and recycled containers of varying sorts. Over a weather-worn door hangs a sign on a wrought iron bracket, and etched into the wood in common and halfling is Barnaby's Botanic Emporium. You've come to visit Barnaby Strucker to follow up on conversations you had with him when you defeated the giant brewing machine, and also because you've been looking for him for a while. You've needed to talk to Barnaby about strange dreams. So, as you wander up to the door, what do you do?
Does the sign say open?
The sign says, in halfling, Guten Tag.
Wunderbar. We open the door.
Yeah, Bertie opens the door knowing exactly what it means. It means hello.
That's true. Gesundheit.
Hello?
You hear from inside, "Oh, hello, welcome. I not long got back with some milk. Do anybody want some coffee?"
Oh yes, I'll definitely take coffee. I like a tall, long, dark glass of coffee.
Amazing.
Lots of sugar.
I will find some sugar.
It's okay. You've got enough sugar.
I am very sweet. That is true.
I'll only have it if it's Irish.
You want some Irish coffee? Let me go and break open the multiverse for you. I'm pretty sure if we go talk to Baba Yaga, she's got a hotline to Irish coffee. I once met that hag. Interesting conversation. Anyway.
You just need to put a spot of whiskey in it.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
Beauregard, just have some lettuce juice if you've got some.
Why not have the whole lettuce while he's at it?
Oh, yes, that would be delightful. What do you think? Take a nice lettuce.
Are you having this conversation
Beauregard?
by shouting through the door, or are you all walking inside?
Yes. Yes, to what?
The two are standing in the door, just yelling into this dark interior.
Yeah,
of this fucking shop.
all I heard was somebody offering me coffee. So
You hear a rattling of china and teaspoons inside.
come on, let's go and get your lettuce, and I'll go and have my nice coffee. Come on. What about all of you? Come on, let's all go in and have a nice sit
You
down.
are-
have a cup
Xander's
of
just
tea.
bewildered that you've not even walked into the shop and you're already trying to jump on this guy you've only just met.
You are aware that lettuce is a doping agent.
Inside.
I didn't do that. I'm very innocent. I'm very sorry. I've lived a very sheltered life.
Clearly.
From inside, you hear, "That's true. It's a very good soporific agent if you want to knock out some rabbits."
Well,
Minesh just nods.
shall we head in and see what's going on, or even let us see what's going on?
It's a very good one. Oh, well done. Oh, yes. Come on.
Okay.
Just sit in the corner and think about what you've done.
I am ashamed that I even suggested you come here.
Yeah. Beauregard and Bethilde sort of slime on in. I'm going to have a little look out and see if I can see any slug pellets and make sure that he doesn't
Roll a perception
than
check.
any.
As you
those.
walk in, you realise that you just sort of slide off the top of Beauregard, sort of hobble around the corner, and Beauregard shrinks down, so it's probably not going to have any issues with slug pellets as he slimes up onto your shoulder and just sits there.
If I have a look around this shop, am I seeing anything that's particularly magical? Am I seeing anything that's...
Roll a perception check.
That
I
was,
mean, I'm fairly magical.
that was a dirty 20 on the slug pellets.
You don't see any slug pellets. You do see a load of pots with eggshells in them, though. You get the feeling that this halfling is into his organic growing.
Nod sagely.
It was a very clean 7.
You see nothing magical about these plants whatsoever. You look at these bright purple ferns and you're like, this is ridiculous. I see these every day where I walk through the woods. And then you remember you don't walk through the woods, so you've got no idea what you're talking about.
What's
As
I
usual.
think?
Can I roll a nature?
Go for it.
It's 18.
18. There's various different types of clematis, rhododendron. There seems to be a camellia at the back. You also see some amaranthine lilies, which are kind of a lily version of a Venus flytrap. You're not entirely sure why you'd want to sell those. But there's there's 2 big pots of them, one on either side of the walkway. And as you walk past, they sort of slowly lift their heads and these massive red flowers open with loads of teeth along the petals. And you start to wonder, yeah, he's not selling those, is he? Those are there because of shoplifters, and they're going to be in for a nasty surprise. And you're like, there's respect.
Come on, small plant. Let's go and go and see Barnaby. Let's stop poking the different plants. He might pot you.
A Minesh.
The plant just swings its head towards you. He's like, yeah.
No, not you, big bitey plant. No, you small plant. Sorry, what's a leshy? I don't think I've ever met a leshy before.
Leshies come in all different shapes and sizes. I'm
We
a
did
root
see that one that
leshy.
was like
Yes,
a
a
sunflower.
Yes.
Yes, I remember now.
As
That
you
was
say
only
that,
like half an hour ago.
as you say
Was
that,
it?
a
It
sunflower
feels
walks
like
past the
ages.
door. It's like,
Yeah, it would for
Yeah,
you.
I'm not like that one.
Oh.
Yes, you didn't really greet it. It seemed there's some hierarchy in the lightning community.
I just assumed that she's rude. But that's okay. I still think you're delightful.
I thought we established that she was a battle leshy.
Or
Or a death leshy. Wasn't that what you called yourself, a death leshy?
I'm a root leshy.
Oh, how metal of you. I've heard somebody say that once, a young person say that. It sounded very good.
How's that coffee coming, Barnaby?
It's coming along just fine. Do you take coffee, my kobold friend? Oh, I'll take coffee. If there's whiskey, I'll have that instead, though.
Oh, I've got some whiskey. Here you go.
So he
They
comes.
should have hands him a little hip flask.
The kobold just starts drinking from the hip flask. He's like, oh, this is good stuff. Yeah, I like that. Right, I'm going to sit over here while you lot have a chin wag and drink this.
Was there not somewhere more private we can have a conversation?
There ain't nowhere no private than this shop. Look, we're surrounded by only plants. And
Yes, but what if you have customers that come in?
I think some people
it'll
can
be
talk
fine.
to plants.
I mean, people can talk to plants, but that's what George and Ringo are for. And he points to the 2 large, toothed-looking lilies. They make sure that no one gets in here, not even any beetles. But we can go upstairs to my dining room if you would prefer.
I think that would
Ooh,
be
yes.
far more comfortable.
Oh, follow me. He leaves the shop door open, clearly unconcerned about anything, because he's got 2 giant man-eating plants sitting either side of the walkway through the middle of all these tables. And he leads you through the back, what it looks like a kitchen/potting room. He seems to have merged the 2. There's a long trestle table in the middle, at one end stacked with dishes that need washing, and at the other end is just covered in soil and pots that are upside down. There's plants that are half out of their pots that look like he was in the middle of doing something with before he went out to get milk. And he leads you up a set of switchback stairs at the back of the room, and it leads you into the top of the stairs, a dining room with a nice, pretty nice set of tables and chairs. There's about 8 chairs around it. He takes a seat at the head. There's a long bookshelf along one wall. He kind of sits down with his coffee. He's like, well, make yourselves at home.
Very kind of you.
Xander's very kind of obviously on edge.
Or any of the... Because he's only little, isn't he? So are any of the chairs large-sized, like big enough for Xander? Is that the reason why you don't want to sit down? It's because they're all just tiny chairs.
The table and chairs are built for halflings and gnomes. But, it wouldn't be uncomfortable to sit on it. It would be like sitting on a child's stool.
Oh, how wonderful. I'll take a seat.
I'll take a seat as well.
Katarra will sit on the table.
Katarra
Oh.
sits on the
Oh,
table.
of course.
And
Civilized company.
and
I'm
Tuppence
very civilised, thank you very much.
Why don't you just
get
put
off the
your
table.
boots on the table?
and Tuppence just jumps up on a chair and is like, "Oh, this is good. Normally I have to climb."
If it's upstairs, does Beauregard like follow me and just sort of slide
Beauregard at this point will have
slime
shrunk down and just slithered up onto your shoulder.
Ah, of course,
And then
yeah.
you just sort of hobble up the stairs with this snail sort of swinging its eye stalks left and right, looking around to see what's going on.
Did anybody kind of notice that the snail that
no,
I
so
was
I
sitting on is
do.
now on my shoulder?
I didn't notice it shrink or anything, so I'm looking at it. Like, you got a little thing on your shoulder.
Yes, we've met before. It's Beauregard.
Huh?
Beauregard.
Beauregard is the size of a large
travel
dog.
size.
What?
He sometimes, when he's having a rest, he's a bit more compact, travel sized.
Roll an Arcana check.
I don't really think too much about it. He just does this sometimes. It's very handy.
Probably think about it a bit more.
You're kind of thinking familiars and territory with animal companions, but snails not usually something that are common in that area of magic. So, cats, bats, even rats, but snails, it's a bit outside that.
Cats, bats, or rats? I know nothing about this.
As you say that, Mish just like flies past your head.
Yeah, Mush is just going,
ducks down. It's like, say, there's wildlife everywhere in here.
It turns around and looks straight at Xander.
It just seems to have a moth problem in here, Barnaby.
It then flutters over and sits
I
on...
don't think insulting our host is the best way to approach matters.
Mush settles on Minesh's shoulder, kind of looks around. You understood all of that. Mush was complaining that you left them all behind. That you left them behind.
Why did you take such a fast way up the stairs?
Well, you need to hurry up then.
I'm only small, my wings don't work as fast as your legs. And all of these toilet people are really fast.
I know.
Yeah.
I know the point of a group consultation is so that we can get through our conversations with you quicker. But at this stage, I'm not sure if it actually would be any quicker to just do individual consultations.
Maybe I should kind of move things along then. Let's get to some introductions. I should. Well, my name's Barnaby Strucker. I'm botanist and extraordinaire investigator. Strange and unusual things, but apparently I'm the man you're looking for. So, who are all of you then?
I'm pretty sure I introduced myself at the market.
I know, but for the sake of completeness, lady, let's start again.
Katarra.
Pleasure to meet you. Your boots need cleaning.
That's very rude.
No, you're sitting on my table and your boots are on it.
My boots are not on the table.
Your boots are definitely touching my table.
No, the boots are touching the floor.
Whatever.
Not at all.
If someone tells you that your boots are touching their table, you're not in a position to argue. Get your boots away from the table.
If you sit cross-legged on the table, your boots are going to touch
I'm
the
not.
table.
Katara's not sitting cross-legged on the table. She's like leaning on the edge of
She
the
is
table.
now. This is a retcon whether you like it or not.
I just picture you just like sitting straight in the middle of the table, cross-legged.
My boots are not on the table.
Just be like at school, just like, okay, what's happening now?
No, she's like sat on like the edge of the table.
You're perching on the edge of the table.
Yeah, I'm perching.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Perching on the edge
Yeah.
of the table. That's not sitting, that's perching. It's a very distinct
It's a form of
activity.
sitting.
It's a different action entirely.
It's not on the action list.
It's in the remastered reaction list.
Oh, yes, and of course, I'm Bethilde, and this is Beauregard.
Oh, how could I forget?
Bertie Bunce, pleasure to make your acquaintance again.
Pleasure to meet you again.
Minesh, Adon, and this is Mish.
Another person with a little friend. It's nice. It's really nice. Mushroom. Of course. A leshy with a mushroom friend. Does he like does he need any compost? I've got some good aracaceous compost if he wants it. Or I've got some Taldor and stuff coming in next week if that's any help.
That'd be amazing. But Mish is actually a leshy. I made.
Wow.
Is this your child? Oh, how delightful.
Oh no, you probably shouldn't have said that. This could go a long way. Hello, you suspicious man.
I want to ask
Dante.
how
And
making
he gives
him
like a- he
works,
gives like a
but
quick
maybe
nod.
I don't want to ask.
A very respectful nod.
Well, now that we've all established that you create life and you're...
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing right there. That's
Leshies make other leshies?
They grow
Druids
them.
make leshies, thanks to the
To
leshy
be fair,
king.
humans make other humans. It's not completely outside the realm of possibility.
Does this mean it's a little prince? Oh, delightful. Was he a morel?
Was he a sunflower?
God, no.
Was he a fun guy?
Well,
I'll tell you one day.
I think this is a conversation for another time.
well, I've got to honestly say I can hear George and Ringo down the stairs getting a little bit angsty for their next meal. So
I don't think I need to discuss my dreams with you anymore. They're just going to be nightmares from now on.
don't worry, Bertie. Uncle Barnaby is going to sort it all out.
Oh, God.
He just steps back with a wink.
Does everyone call you Uncle Barnaby?
Rasma, help me.
Bethilde swoons a bit. She sort of blushes.
So, did you find anything else about the strange things that happened in the market this morning?
I think just what you said about there being some footprints of a slender, but no tread.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Slender, like a lady's or an elf's. Heavy set, like a dwarf or a large human. But no discernible boot tread. And no toes, so weren't barefoot either.
It was a very tasty beer. That's what I discovered.
I'm sure it was Smokeside Sour. Smokeside Sour.
Have
I'm
you had
pretty
it
sure it
this
was.
morning yourself?
I've had some, which is why my tongue is tied.
That's all I can add.
Amazing.
I think the crate said something like Alkenstar Industries or something of the like.
Well, that narrows it down because Alkenstar is a city, so there's plenty of industries there. And we're probably looking for one that shipped a large clockwork brewer, which narrows it down even further. It's a good job I went and got some milk then, isn't it?
Fortuitous.
We're very fortuitous. Would you like to know what I know about the missing automata?
There's more?
That would be brilliant, thank you.
Well, I'd be a really bad investigator if I didn't know more.
I thought you were a botanist.
I'm both. Depends what day it is. Today is my investigatory day. Now, I don't know as much about these missing automata as I would like to, but since late Calistrel, which is February in real-world terms, shipments of clockwork automata, like waiters, cleaners, handlers, and even a fabricator, that's a big thing, have disappeared from warehouses around the docks. Now, the harbor guard are at a little bit of a loss. From what I hear, it's like the automata just got up and left, which is really weird considering they've got to be wound up to move anything or anywhere. But then our clockwork friend this morning runs amok in the market, and I'll eat my hat if that's a coincidence. But I've learned a thing or two in the last hour as I was getting some milk, because you know it never ceases to amaze me what the people at the milk stand see. Sometimes you gotta go and ask the people on the ground. Anyway, apparently the stall that got torn up this morning was, by our walking brewery friend, was recently leased to a Taldoran halfling named Trickle Lightfoot. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you, that's an alias. He looks at you all expectantly, like you meant to be impressed.
It was impressive.
Who's using the alias Trickle Lightfoot?
I'm so glad you asked, because nobody else seemed to be about to. He gives you a lopsided grin, and he's like, well, I stopped and asked this little bird on the way home, and they told me they're confident that Mr. Lightfoot's real name is actually a gnome named Drent Thatchweevil. Yep.
Brent Thatch.
Do I
Yep.
recognise the name?
Roll a society check.
And you've got dubious knowledge or something as well.
Drent
Thatchweevil.
Thatchweevil.
12. You have no idea who this Drent Thatchweevil is. Doesn't ring a bell. It's the kind of name you don't think you'd forget in a hurry.
Never heard of him.
You say he's a gnome?
Yep, that's right. He's a gnome.
More importantly, what has he got to do with? Does he have like a standing in the city at all, or
Not
Does he
really.
have shares in Alkenstar Industries?
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. Probably not. But Thatchweevil is a charlatan. Pretty reasonable one from what I've heard. But he makes a lot of bad choices. Racks up a lot of debts with people that you don't forget to pay back on time, if you get what I mean. He's got a credit score so low it's in Rovagug's belly. And bear in mind, that bitch is at the middle of the planet. Now, he's got a reputation for finding trouble even when it's not looking for him. At which point Barnaby shakes his head and halfway between amusement and disappointment is almost he's passing judgment on this person. He was forced to flee Starfall and Numeria about a decade or so back when he was caught flogging some Numerian tech. Now, that ain't a problem, because that alien stuff ain't illegal per se. But the problem is when you start getting caught fencing things that were stolen from the Technic League, which is the government. So, he's made some bad choices, like I said. A lot of bad choices. But you see, it gets real interesting at the beginning of this year, because he's made his way to Absalom a few years back, and since he's been here, he's been held up in the puddles in a hovel, trying to keep a roof over his head, doing about as poor a job as that as he's done with everything else. And then suddenly, in Lake Calistril, Adon comes into a spot of money. Suddenly a lot of money is flowing through his hands. He pays off his creditors and buys a nice house in Eastgate. Starts investing in art. I know, what a turnaround. No one's a clue how he managed to make it rich so quickly, or successfully, for that matter, nor why he would suddenly set up a stool in the Grand Bazaar. The guy's more of a defraud and run 'em kind of type. But there you go. That's our lead. A guy named Drench Thatchweevil.
Fine art to fund any money that he could be possibly making from stolen automatons.
Or he's just decided that that's a great way to keep your assets in art and, physical, tangible assets rather than liquid assets in a bank. Maybe he doesn't trust banks. I don't know. I've met the man.
Are there banks in Absalom?
There are many banks in Absalom. Why, do you need one?
No, I was just asking because I didn't think they had a banking system.
Oh, there's a banking system.
A banking system.
Some places didn't.
I've got a very good banking system. Whenever I get money, I put it in my mattress.
We'll have to go see your mattress at some point. But until then...
Excuse me?
Xander wants to see your mattress.
That's very forward, young man.
I think you need to get a nice hat for that sort of...
Well, I can recommend a very good hat. Are you sure?
There's less any exercise on the mattress. It's more... I was going to say being in the mattress, but I'm not going to say that because that'd be silly.
I mean...
I think we're in polite company. Let's not talk about this now.
Well,
no, we're not.
As delightful as that was, Barnaby, I'm actually here to talk about my dreams.
That's what I was just thinking.
I mean, I thought you'd all be impressed that I found all of that out in an hour.
It was incredibly impressive. I mean...
This bird must have talked a lot.
I mean, it was a sparrow.
You do know they do sing, those birds, once you have them going.
Nothing about that.
Yes, so, back to me and my dreams.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure your dreams involve Barnaby.
Well, they might now. No, of course not. No. We...
That's on a bit further than I thought it would.
Says the one who wants to do exercise on a mattress.
So,
The mattress.
I've had this
Good
dream.
time in there, apparently.
I've had this dream. It's a very strange dream because it involves the sea, and I've never been to sea, so I don't think it was a memory. And since then, I keep having flashes of the same strange dream where I'm having a nice time in the Wandering Barnacle and fishing, and then I'm in the sea, and there's a ship, and the ship's sinking, and but I've never seen a ship sink. So what does this mean? Have you ever heard strange dreams about ships sinking? Have you had any dreams about ships sinking?
I mean, I'm sure there's something in there. Is the rest of you dreaming of a sinking ship as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, although
really.
Very mysterious.
I'm
And
definitely not
fire.
dreaming about any wandering barnacle, though. I can tell you that much.
Well, that at least narrows down the focus of... What about you, lady, who's sitting on my table?
Perchin.
Perching on my table.
Well, you don't have proper size seating, so...
I will make a note.
Yes, ship, but then I've spent my life on a ship.
Well, so you dream about ships all the time, at which point Tuppence speaks up and goes, of course I do.
Well, I think you dream about cannons, Tuppence.
Firing those cannons and sinking other people's ships. Wait, did I say that out loud?
You only sink the ships that deserve it.
Yeah, the ones with my treasure on it.
Well, if you're looking...
Our treasure.
Yes, our treasure, Governor.
Well, if you're looking for Barnaby, then surely this dream must be different than your dreams about ships that you've had. Otherwise, why would you be looking to tell somebody about them? Or was that not true? As I swear that you said you were looking for Barnaby.
Oh, yes, I was. But yes, there's a ship, there's fire, cannons.
Strange creature moving in the water.
Yes, I did see something like that as well.
Well, Gotta be honest, dreams are not really my specialty. I'm not kind of a psychic or a neuromancer or anything of the sort. However, I am a man who knows people. Perhaps I have a contact who might be able to help you out. And I'd be happy to ask around and see if I can hook you up with the right people.
Is his name Joseph by any chance?
That guy's currently in Assyria, and I don't think you're going to be able to speak to him. He's out there advising a pharaoh.
And I suppose you'd want some sort of finder's fee for this?
Well, this is where it gets a little bit interesting.
Or we can pay in other ways.
Oh, God.
Oh dear. Speak for
I was
yourself.
talking about pints in the Wandering Barnacle. I don't you need to wash
take
your
me
minds
now.
out.
Well, it seems like we might be able to help each other out. Maybe
Ooh,
not.
okay.
Maybe not quite in the way you're hoping, madam. But anyway,
Put some cold water on her, please.
I mean,
I cast Rousing Splash.
A rousing splash.
Oh, no.
you feel slightly more
Bethilde
vigorous.
has a wet forehead now.
And a few temporary hit points.
Oh, thank you. How many temporary hit points?
They last like a
He
minute.
said,
So.
well, there's some places you could
Don't
go
worry
with that
about
one. I'm going to stick quiet.
You gain 2 temporary hit points for a minute. Well, you were very capable when you dealt with that walk-in wrecking ball this morning, and I've been in the lookout for some additional muscle on a job I've been working. So I'm interested in a little bit of kind of quid pro quo here. You help me out with something I need, and I'll help you out getting what you need. No charge on my part. And I'm sure I can arrange for my client to perhaps cover some expenses. Maybe a little bit more, too. What do you say?
Who's your client?
Gotta respect the client confidentiality. Can't talk about it unless you agree.
What's the favour that you're expecting from us?
I would like your help with this case.
When
You seem very capable. You can heal people. You can blow stuff up with lightning. I'm pretty sure you stab things. And
Very effective.
you're a very good public announcement system.
Yes, and I mean, Beauregard would be very helpful because he literally is basically all muscle.
Exactly. He is
Like
one.
the small snail in your shoulder.
Yeah, just gesturing to the tiny snail on my shoulder.
When you say you need some muscle, I mean, the most muscular one amongst us is the kobold, which perhaps...
But you got to remember that muscle doesn't always have to be physical. Sometimes it's an intellectual muscle that we really need.
That's where I come in.
That is where you come in, madam. That is exactly where you come in. You will be 100% intellectual muscle.
Katarra just rolls her eyes.
But I need some help, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and you people just landed in my lap this morning, and you looked...
we should
pretty,
be so...
not quite in the way that you want, madam.
His eyebrows rise.
But it seems like you need something from me, and I could certainly use the help. But,
What precisely does the job entail?
well, first of all, it entails you taking a little jaunt over to Eastgate and talking to Mr. Thatchweevil. Because, quite frankly, I would really like to know why something went crazy in the market this morning and tried to squash me with a beer keg.
Well, what if he's not
I'm very
there?
good at talking to somebody.
Well,
that's
We'll
fair.
find him, won't we?
And
You look
if-
like the kind of person, no disrespect intended, because let's face it, I think these skills come in very handy, who doesn't need to be stopped by a locked door.
And what happens if it escalates? Do we have permission to go further?
If it escalates and something attacks you, you can defend yourselves as you see fit. I wouldn't encourage you going and murdering Mr. Thatchweevil. You kind of want to know what he's up to.
I think what the Leshy is getting at is that should there be an entanglement with the authorities,
Then you better hope you filled out that satisfaction survey.
well, surely you could intervene on our behalf.
Why don't you try not to get in a tangle with the authorities?
They weren't very good, but, need a bit of assurance.
Darling, I would have thought that you would have learned the secret by now. It's not about what you do. It's about whether you get caught.
I mean,
Yes, I'm fully
that's
aware
pretty
of
much.
that, but I've not really worked with all of you on a job like this.
But anyway,
You're not really
there's-
filling us with confidence in that you seem pretty certain that you are going to get caught.
Oh no, I'm a pro, darling.
Look, I'm going to be honest. You seem pretty capable this morning in the Grand Bazaar, but before I'm going to divulge, things about clients and confidential information, I want to know what I'm getting myself into. First of all, you're discreet. Secondly, that we're trustworthy, because let's face it, there will be some trust here. So, call this a test. Get to the bottom of what Thatch Weevil knows. Come back. Give me the heads up on what he says, what you find, and then we'll take it from there. And in the meantime, as a show of good faith, and because you need to see my worth as well, I'll make some inquiries on your behalf to see if I can't find somebody to talk to about these dreams.
And where precisely in Eastgate is Mr. Thatch Evil's house?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's on the southern boundary of Eastgate, right up against the Precipice Quarter.
Do you have a map?
I do. And he shows you a map of Absalom, and you see the sort of half-moon shape of the city curves around this bay, and the coin sits pretty much central to the city. The only thing, the middle of the city is the Ascendant Court, where the Starstone Cathedral is, and then the coins are slightly south of that, then the docks. Eastgate is directly, unsurprisingly, to the east.
You said that he had an art shop, which he could possibly use into...
No, he just decided to buy a load of art.
He
bought a load of art. Don't know whether it was good stuff or bad stuff, but that's what I heard.
Art is subjective.
When you
That
say
is
art,
true.
do you mean like painting?
Painting,
or
sculpture.
ceramics, or painting?
Well, I know about some painting. I think he painted, some paintings, ceramics, maybe
Miniatures.
some sculptures. I don't know. Knock on his door and find out.
Oh, okay.
And do you have a precise address?
Yep, 22 Acacia Drive.
Postcode.
Yep,
So,
AR 57 1ED.
so do you have a sense that he might be willing to talk to us, or do you get a feeling that he might be opposed to that?
I mean, I get the feeling, madam, that you are capable of getting anybody to talk to you.
Everyone's willing under the right circumstances.
yes, it's
Let's
true.
go find out. You've been very helpful.
Can we take the
I'm
map?
sure at some point.
Yeah, why not?
I follow Xander.
Tuppence slides off the chair. He's like, well, Gov, it looks like we're going to go crack some skulls.
Well, let's try to do it very quiet-like.
So you all heading back downstairs.
I'm
Yes.
gonna follow the pirate lady with the maps because she seems
Sailor.
to know where she's going.
You follow the... Yeah, because you haven't spent much time on the east of
Yeah.
Absalom. You've never needed to. You're heading back down the stairs through the shop out onto the street, at which point you pick Beauregard off your shoulder, put the snail on the floor, it swells back up to size, you climb onto the saddle, and you head off towards Eastgate. Everybody roll society checks. See what you know about this area of Absalom.
Ooh, natty 18.
Why? Why are you like this? It's a natural one.
Amazing.
Good
You
old
know
way
nothing
now.
about Eastgate.
7.
I rolled a 3.
Society.
Oh, we know nothing.
We know nothing.
21.
21. You know that-
23.
23. So, Bethilde, you're a local. You've heard about places across the city, even if you haven't necessarily had too much means to go there. And Katarra, you've done enough kind of reading around Absalom to just kind of get a sense of your way around before you and Tuppence arrived here. Whereas the rest of you sort of, the Bertie, you kind of, life for you has been a bit of a bubble. For you, Xander, you're not local, so this means nothing to you. You know that it's on the east of the city, but beyond that.
Walked out of the shop very confidently. Looked left. Looked right. Very sheepishly went back to Katarra. As
What you do know is that Eastgate is mainly a residential district where the people are financially secure rather than wealthy, but its skyline is nonetheless shaped by soaring towers, stately manors, and the arboreal monolith that is the Grand Holt.
So it's the suburbs.
Pretty much. Two of Absalom's tallest buildings can be found in this district. The Blue Tower is a magnificent spiral of intricately fitted blue coral capped with a narrow stone lighthouse, and the Watchtower is the highest defensive fortification along the city's walls. Among bustling streets echoing with the clatter of carriages and rickshaws, the Endiron School continues to foster a culture of understanding, hoping to, as the slogan goes, put an end to iron as the answer to disagreements. While the Antler Lodge plays host to the faithful of Old Deadeye, and Mama Shrug Solutions offers both curios to meet all needs and the city's only public shrine to Lamashtu, Mother of Monsters.
Question, what's Deadeye?
Eristil, god of the hunt and farming. Old Deadeye. That's his name.
Old Deadeye Duck.
seems like weirdly specific, but also very broad as like an area of worship.
Farming,
and hunting.
Hunting. In fact,
I'd say they're pretty similar.
farming, hunting, rural communities.
Doing stuff with animals when they're
Yeah.
wild and not
What does
wild.
that mean?
On the
Yeah.
mattress.
No.
Yeah, you're actually in the month of Aristus.
February.
No, that's Calistril. You're actually in the month of Aristus, which is July,
We're in July.
which is named for Aristil.
Okay.
So yeah,
Of course.
Of course.
but you do. It kind of raises an eyebrow though when you say that. Oh yeah, guys, there's a shrine to Lamashtu in this place, and you're like, whoa, that's pretty heavy, especially for you, Xander. You're like, hang on a minute, that thing is a pregnant monstrosity that birthed most things of horror on this planet.
Why is that thing on a shrine?
Well, amazingly, she has a legal shrine apparently. But yeah.
Worship. I feel like that'll cause more issues later down.
It's more it kind of represents Absalom's tolerance. They're very, very religious tolerant here.
Also, like crops and stuff, surely. Like
Well, the Mashtu, no, she births monsters.
Mashtu. Sorry, I thought we were still talking about Deadeye.
No, most good deities in the cosmic idea of good are worshipped in Absalom and have temples there. A lot of the deities that would be banned elsewhere find themselves having temples and churches in Absalom because it's so tolerant about religion. The ones that don't tend to are people like Norgorber, because he doesn't like open worship. He's kind of into the sneaky and murder, blackmail, poisoning, all sorts of horrible things. And he's one of the Ascended, one of the mortals that made the Starstone trial and ascended to godhood, although no one knows anything about his mortal life.
Including Xander.
Including everybody. And then Rovagug is another one that doesn't have a temple in the city. So it's pretty much, so this woman runs a curio shop and also has a shrine of Lamashtu. Azaketi's trading wonders from the sea, from a ramshackle tents and wooden shacks of Gilltown. And in Evergreen Park, the children of the spring extol the virtues of nature, at which point Minesh's ears go, ooh, and practice free love.
Ooh.
Bethilde goes, ooh.
No, Bethilde wants free love with Barnaby.
Majority of Eastgate streets are lined with modest villas and townhouses, interspersed with many open green spaces. Closer to the Postern Gate, which is Absalom's oldest and smallest entrance, the homes become increasingly dispersed among the district's parklands, farms, and fields of exotic flowers. In history, at times of sieges, Eastgate was where they would grow their crops. Brent Thatchweevil's home stands in a quiet neighbourhood along Eastgate's southern edge, among a number of other two-storey villas in the Kortos neoclassical style. In case you're wondering, that means painted white stone walls that play host to a variety of flowering clematis, gulls and other birds that perch upon red roof tiles, and a prodigious number of small arched windows that glint in the afternoon sun. A wrought iron gate in a low retaining wall opens onto a flagstone path to a front door painted a vibrant shade of blue.
Tilda just knocks on the front door.
Climb up to the front door. The gate is already open, so you don't even have to open it. You push up to the front door, knock on the door. No answer.
Hello, we've come to sell cookies. Would you like to buy some cookies?
Is it a two-story house?
Yes.
Are there many people on the streets? Any curtain twitchers?
You don't see that many people on the streets. It's kind of middle of the day, so most people are at work, and it's mainly a residential district, so there's very few businesses that are based here.
Because nobody answers, Bethilde sort of coughs and then really loudly, using Bullhorn, knocks and goes, Mr. Thatchweevil! It's your debtors here! We've come to collect! Answer the door, I'm burning your house down!
Oh, no, be quiet!
Remember, Barnaby said to be discreet.
As you do that, a small halfling opens a window on the neighbouring property. She's got hair with rollers in it. She's, what are you doing? Who are you? Why are you harassing that poor man?
Do you not hear? We're debt collectors.
What do you mean? He's got no debts. He lives in Eastgate. We're all secure here.
That's what they'd like you to think.
Minesh hides.
We're a bit further around the building so this old gnome can't see.
Yeah,
What are you
Katarra's
doing
gonna...
around there? Why are you walking around the back? Are you robbing the place? He's not in.
Rob, you're bat. Be quiet.
Do you know where he is?
My God.
I assume he went to work.
Where does he work?
I think he's a banker.
Which
What
bank?
was that?
He's a banker!
Do you not like him very much?
No, I said he's a banker!
Oh, a banker.
Yes! He works at Dharma and Dharma!
Okay, thank you, kind lady. It's lovely. Thank you.
Off Thrifty Street in the coins!
Is he a good neighbour?
I don't know, but he has lots of friends staying with him.
What
you
kind
some
of
friends?
friends?
Oh, there was a halfling once, then a dwarf, and then another halfling, and then there was a kobold, and... Oh, what else was there? Oh, a leshy, yeah. He has lots of friends.
Have you seen him recently?
Oh, not a week.
Have you seen any large boxes coming through?
Well, when he moved in, he had a lot of large boxes.
No, but since they're frequently, does he have lots of deliveries?
Oh, he's into his art. There's a lot of deliveries. Big deliveries, small deliveries.
Any shadowy goings on?
No, considering she's stopping us and clearly trying to take care of her neighbour, she's given a lot of information to
In
us.
the last 10 minutes.
Well, yes, thank you.
Do I need to get the guard?
Oh no,
No, who is the guard?
we're
You're
on
the guard.
You're the guard.
No, we are
You don't wear a uniform.
We're
Well, it's 'cause
freelancers.
Undercover.
That's exactly. If everybody owed debts, saw us coming, then that way they'd
When
run
did
away.
the guard start collecting debts?
You're making it worse.
When you owe the money, that's how debt works.
Do you still have Bullhorn on?
Yes.
Can I smash a window there so they can't hear because she's getting shouted at by some geriatric gnome?
You do that. Stop! No, that's criminal
I
damage.
know, I want to go around the corner
Stop
so I'm
walking around the
hidden
back of the
away.
house. I will yell for the guard.
They won't be able to hear. Here's a Bullhorn.
I'm sure they've already heard the announcement.
We are on business for the guards. There was an attack in the Grand Bazaar this morning.
Then why don't you go through the front door instead of sneaking around the back?
I'm not sneaking.
No, he's checking. He's checking. He's not trying to escape from the debts out the back.
If I was sneaking, you wouldn't know about
What are you
it.
trying to do? One of you is saying there's something happened in the market this morning. One of you is saying you're a debt collector.
Don't get
What
connected to the pirates.
You look like... She points at Bertie. You look like a responsible young man. What are you doing here?
I was just passing by, and I'm just bemused by what's going on in front of me. I'll be honest.
You should whip them all back in shape. You, Leshy!
You can't see me, I'm hiding.
He just stood still.
Like a bug.
Oh, you just stood still.
That voice comes out of
I'm on the road and I'm going down the path.
What's your stealth modifier?
She's camouflaged as a bird.
Plus
Like-
2.
like-
But I didn't enter the gate. I came out and I was on the road near the hedges.
Yeah, she looks directly towards you. She rolled high enough that she sees you quite
Can I
easily.
just
She's
look
like,
up?
you, Leshy! Stop them!
Do you need
You
me
guard?
to go get the guard?
Yes, please!
Okay.
I'll stand here and watch these
I
ne'er-do-wells.
just walk down the street and nod to my leshy friend to come with me.
Yeah,
I returned with Bertie.
I'm going to quietly suggest to everyone that perhaps we ought to leave and come back when it's a bit dark.
Are you okay, ma'am? Are they harassing you? I'm sorry.
They're
They're my
breaking and
apprentices.
entering. Something about debts.
No, there's nothing to see here. I think you should go back to your day. Thank you very much.
Bethilde,
And I'll make an
just-
intimidation check to see if I can intimidate her to go back to her own business.
Go for it.
That's a 10.
She looks at you. She's like, I don't know what neighborhood you're from, but round here that kind of talk gets you thrown out.
Huh?
Bethilde,
But I'm outside
I'll
already.
tell the neighborhood watch to keep an eye out for you, old
Okay,
lady.
well, I'm going now.
You should
Goodbye.
know better.
And I drop Bullhorn and I sort of start to slime away.
Homeowners Association are going to have an earful from this.
wow, that didn't exactly.
That was awful. You've
Discreet.
clearly never done this before.
Amazing.
Puppets wanders in.
That was what a thrill. Who knew I was such an amazing actor.
Remember,
I was so
Seem-
convinced.
remember Barnaby said discreet.
I don't think she understood what the word means.
I don't think she does either.
don't think she
But you
understands
I
a
don't
great
want to
many.
talk about
using
I
the
think we learned- I think we
bullhorn.
learned lots of things there. It was very useful.
Look,
What are we laying?
mollusk
That he's
lady.
not in.
We learned that by knocking on the door.
That he has lots of friends.
I think the mollusk lady is very good when we need to clear an area because of people's safety, but perhaps we should let the professionals unlock a door rather than
Yes,
shout through it.
had you waited more than 5
Well-
seconds, I could have got us in there.
What would you have done if you'd unlocked the door and he'd been standing there?
We would have gone, hello, sir.
And he would have been like, "You're breaking into my house. I'm going to stab you now."
Yes,
Tuppence produces a ring of keys. I'm
we
a
are.
locksmith.
We're
Of course
social
I am.
services doing a welfare check because no one's heard from him.
I still don't think you're supposed to break into people's houses.
Well, if you haven't heard from them, they might be lying choking on their own vomit.
Exactly. It's
That
a
happened to
welfare
Bill.
check.
Mind me if it's a need a welfare check. It sounds very aggressive.
I mean, it can be.
It's actually a welfare check.
Anyway,
That's just how convincing I am.
That's how easily convinced she is. I think that's where the issue lies.
I personally think went excellently. Let's do that next time. Let's both make a mental note to
No,
do that
next
exactly
time
the same
we
next
come-
time.
We come back under cover of darkness and we are quiet.
We were
Okay.
going away.
Well, perhaps for an hour or so, because if we go immediately back...
Why don't we go to his work and try and get the debt from him there?
I'd say any information we can gather, we could probably gather from his house whilst he's not in.
Yes, the best way to know what
Why
somebody...
don't we split up and I'll go to his work and try and get the money from him from there?
We're not
Go on, Fred.
after
Why don't we split up and
money.
search for clues?
I thought
Crack
that
on.
we were collecting a debt.
No!
You just made it up.
Is that not what we're doing? Are we not debt collectors?
We are trying to find out how he came into
Oh,
money
yes,
so
of course.
quickly
Oh,
and
yes.
how that is linked to the missing automaton.
I bet he's been thieving it from work from that bank he
Yes,
works at.
but the
Tuppence looks towards Bertie. Are you following any of this? Because I lost it at the point she thought she was a debt
Tuppence, the best way
She
to
lost it well before then.
the best way to find out what somebody is up to is to go through their things.
That is also true. So I know what all of my crewmates are doing.
Yes, but there's hardly any privacy on a ship, Tuppence.
I have a cannon.
I don't know much about being on a ship, but I do think choosing the rest of your crew is very important. And if we're going to come back later, maybe we choose our crew carefully.
Yeah. Or we get some duct tape, which is also really good for stealth missions.
I mean, I don't know much about stealth, so I'll leave that to you.
Yep.
If you think we
Yep.
need duct tape,
Yep.
is it? I mean, I didn't see any ducts.
It's magic, really is. There's a light side, a dark side. It binds the universe together.
All you need to know is not to cast Bullhorn. That's the only thing you have to remember.
Well,
Yes, but-
what else can you cast? Because there might be other spells that you might also
Maybe
not
you
want.
should consider learning invisibility at some point.
Oh, I could do this, and then I lean forward, like towards Bertie, and I sort of like
Personal space,
I
darling.
like put my hand on your forehead, and you see a vision of Bethilde dancing around in like a frillian pony pants.
Oh God, it was worse than I expected.
And that was joined
Bertie,
past.
You've got 1,000-yard set. Are you okay?
I don't know if I want to keep doing this anymore. Can I just go home?
Like clicking in front of you. You there? You okay?
Hello, Mr. Bunce. Are you still with us?
I thought what she did to the neighbour was bad. Dear
we
God.
walk around for an
That was
hour.
just me showing
Try
my little-
not
a little dance I could do.
try not to alienate the people you're with.
I could do this as well.
No, let's not
Stop her, stop her.
let's
Stop her
not
now.
have any demonstrations just yet. We can
She's
get
sort of
through.
holding a knitting needle, sort of like as if she's about to throw it at
Oh,
you.
we saw that one this morning.
Oh, of course. Oh, yes.
We can
Oh,
get
do
through.
that one.
We can get through the mission, and then we can have a good old game of heave.
Eve, how's that go?
It's
Is that, I
fine.
thought that's what you do if you had too much to drink.
Yeah, that's the game.
Yes,
Ah.
the drinking game.
You
Bertie,
drink-
Bertie
I
wants
like
to play it right
drinking
now.
games. Delightful. Yes, let's do that in my pub.
Right. Before
Once
we do
we
that,
get
you'll-
through the mission.
Yeah. Gov, do you want to unlock the door then?
Well, we need to wait a little bit and just
All right,
like.
we'll walk round for an hour, shall we?
Yeah, not looking suspicious.
All right.
In the posh part of town.
Excuse me, what are you saying?
I'm saying that a group of you normal-looking folk walking around in
I mean,
circles together might
well,
not...
Speak for
Roll a
yourself.
deception check.
Speak for yourself. I look fabulous, darling.
Question: how small can a familiar go?
Familiar is tiny, so it
So
basically...
can I, as in like, can he shrink to the size that's tiny and climb inside the lock and try to pick the lock?
can't get that small.
Plus,
Can he still try? I tell you what, even if he's normal size, can he stick his head in it and try and pick the lock?
He
I'll do
doesn't
a skill
have
check.
thumbs.
His eye stalk is not small
Has a
enough. He's still
mouth.
the size of a cat.
You can't pick a lock
It's like
with
a
a
tiny
mouth.
creature is about the size of a house cat.
All you can hear from inside the lock is, oh.
Beauregard looks at this lock. Beauregard looks at the lock and he's just like, "Huh?"
Just to be clear, we have waited.
Shakes his head.
We waited a bit of time because you were doing a perception check to make
25.
sure.
You notice that it's a nice, respectable suburban district. There's not posh. Isn't really what you would call this. This is where people go when they've made it out of the slums. And
Posh if you're from the puddles.
It's posh if you've gone from the
Not
puddles.
all of us are from
This
the
is where
puddles.
people from the puddles aspire to. That's the only context you had for the name until you walked into the district, Bertie.
Yeah. So we could try to be more discreet.
Nobody noticed me.
Or me.
It was because I was hiding behind the wall.
That's like saying no one noticed you stood next to a barn fire. It's not an achievement.
Wow.
I mean, it was a tragically low bar, thanks to someone.
It was quite tragically low.
Bethilde's completely oblivious. She just thinks she did a really good job.
So you walk around for an hour, buy an ice cream.
I'm actually going to sort of like give
I heard there's a lovely park nearby.
with
some free
she's just
love.
going to give them like a really terrible tour because she's never been. But she's just like, oh, and that's the tower, and this is a stall.
You walk past a few stores, past the tower. You do see the blue tower. This massive.
Katarra just kind
coral.
of like is drinking out of her hip flask every so often
Katarra
during
is-
this hour.
After an hour of Xander hearing Bethilde talk on and on about things she clearly knows nothing about, all he can think is, I might be able to live without knowing what this dream's actually about.
Not the
there's
point.
There's obviously everything else going on, but it doesn't matter. I can't deal with this. And just look at you, and you're just like pointing around, talking about blue towers, which weren't blue originally. They became blue later on.
Because blue was in fashion in this year, and then it was purple, and then I think
I
there
thought
was
it
a
was
time when it was white,
oxidation.
and then of course, even though it's a white tower, then because they wanted to paint it blue, it was called the blue tower.
Minesh misses the forest.
You look at this. Minesh stares longingly at the Grand Holt, this massive multi-trunked tree that just is towering above the city skyline. And you just look longingly at it, wishing you could ditch this woman on this snail and this terrible tour.
Thank you.
Go and just live in that tree. But eventually, after an hour, you wend your way back round. And,
Before we do anything, can we do a perception check to see if the nosy neighbour
Go for it.
is like watching us? Oh, balls.
22. 22.
21.
You both see quite easily that the nosy neighbour is not around.
Okay.
In fact, it looks like the curtains are drawn next door as if they've gone out.
Ooh, 2 houses to rob.
Can I roll stealth and start making my way?
Yes.
I would also like to roll
You can roll
stealth.
stealth. If you,
I
have,
need to roll stealth.
if you have a lousy stealth modifier, you could follow the expert.
Yes.
That means you can.
Plus 2 bonus, I think.
You follow the expert, so somebody needs to be an expert in stealth, which I don't think anybody is.
No, not this
so
level.
You can't do that.
I rolled a 7.
7.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
17.
21.
9.
And Tuppence did quite well. On the balance of things, you've done well enough that you kind of walk up the garden path without actually attracting any attention this time.
Amazing.
The curtains don't twitch. The neighbour doesn't reappear. You make it to the door.
I will gently knock again just in case he's come back.
You knock. Wait a minute or two. No answer.
Okay. So I would. I'll try the handle. Is it trapped? Locked?
Try the handle to see if it's trapped.
No. I check it for
You
traps.
look at it. Okay,
I check
roll a
it for
perception
traps
check.
first.
You're very suspicious.
Oh, nat 20!
You're completely convinced that this door is locked. It's definitely not trapped. And it's probably a reasonable lock, considering that this is a reasonably nice suburbs.
Or does anyone actually have a lockpick?
Of course.
Stand in front of you and keep
Kinda
it
like-
shielding.
But you put your hands in your
Oh,
pockets.
darling, I
and make your coats
barely know you.
And yet you're the one on your knees.
Calm down. Calm down.
Tuppence sidles up next to you and he's like, Gov, should I kill him?
I would for that.
I mean, I could certainly chop him down to size.
It's all right. He'll have fun with the captain's daughter.
I cast guidance on you as you go to pick the lock.
You are trained in thievery, aren't you?
Can you stack guidance? So if you get guidance from somebody else.
No, you can only have one guidance.
Oh, that's only a natural 8 plus 7, which is 15, plus 1, which is 16.
You kind of slide the pick in. It's not working.
What about the small scaly fella? You look
Ooh.
like you could pick a lock.
Well,
You-
before you
Kobolds.
do, is there any, like, rocks nearby where a key might be hidden?
I think you're just going to put up rocks. This is a great way to get in.
Tuppence is like, do I look like a person who picks locks? I break down doors.
Can I have a look to see if there is a spare key, like under a pot or a rock or
You
something?
start looking around, roll a perception check.
All the upstairs windows shut, yeah?
They seem to be.
Any easy ways of climbing up?
You could climb up the trellises. The clematises are growing up, but you'd have to take the glass out the windows.
Seems like a good idea.
You could just take the glass out the porch window and go through there.
22.
22. You look around. There's no rocks nearby and no pots that have a key in them. You could just try the lock again. Your pick didn't break.
You didn't say that I could try it again.
Is there a gap under the door?
No. It seems like there's no draft there.
Does guidance last a minute, or is it?
No, guidance is one roll.
Once.
Oh, okay.
So somebody can cast guidance again if you want to.
Minesh cast guidance on you.
That time it's an 18.
18, the lock. And the door swings open.
Second time's a charm.
Well done, Gov. I am proud of you as my protege. Tuppence wanders straight through.
Excuse me, ladies first.
Oh, sorry.
This is not the time to check for traps.
That's why I went first.
Yes, he's the trap detector.
Yep, I'm very effective. There are no traps in this room. So, you all start entering into the porch. The walls of the entrance porch.
Before you do, we shut the door behind us.
Yes, I'm assuming you would do.
I know, but I'm just saying in case you're like, the neighbour sees that the door's been left open.
Stop! Stop!
Exactly.
Oh, there's a sunflower walking by.
Yeah.
I'll get him. Wow.
Before closing the door behind us, can I cast alarm on the path leading up to the door?
You can.
Ooh.
And I want it to be a non-audible alarm.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Perfect. The walls of the entrance porch are hung with nauseatingly bright tapestries that clash horribly with the terracotta floor tiles. 2 life-size granite statues of nude, ludicrously curvaceous and suggestively posed gnomes only add to the room's not quite comical tastelessness. An assortment of boots and shoes are arranged beside a coat stand hung with an assortment of summer and winter apparel. There is one door out of this room.
Clearly money doesn't buy taste.
Apparently not.
All like the boots and shoes, like...
I keep it just imagine that first you walk in first, you see his 2 stone naked gnomes.
Are like all the
Walks
boots
in,
and,
he's rock
are all
hard.
the boots and shoes like the same size, or are some like
They all look gnome-sized.
they're all gnome sized? Okay.
Minesh goes towards the next door and pushes it open.
You go towards the next door and push it open, and there's all...
Gently.
You
Quietly.
open the door. It's not locked, and it opens into a hallway. Are you doing anything else in the porch before you leave it? It's 15 feet wide and 15 feet deep.
Can I check the
Did it
coats?
get anything from Detect Magical?
There's nothing magical that pings in the porch.
Can I check behind the tapestry?
You check behind the tapestries. There's just wall.
Can I check the coats?
Yeah, you start looking through the coats. They're all gnomish-sized coats. Roll a perception check.
I think she's looking if there's anything in the pockets.
Is there anything on the naked gnome statue that should imply a hidden chamber or something?
There is a name on the plinths beneath the statues.
It's going to be his name, isn't it? It's going to be Thatch Evil.
No, it's Theodore Rosewhistle. Roll a society check.
9.
9. There's nothing in the coats. All the pockets seem to be empty.
26.
26. Rosewhistle. Theodore Rosewhistle. Oh, yes, you remember this. Halfling sculptor who was known for provocative works, but became embroiled in a scandal when he was accused of improper conduct with a noble's rebellious daughter who had commissioned a statue in her very naked likeness. These aren't worth much.
The question is the gnome hot?
Good told you that.
In a ludicrously kind of cartoony way.
It's made of stone.
Is it?
It doesn't matter.
Is it-
We won't stop it.
More of a pin-up rather than like a Greek statue?
Yes, it
Okay.
looks more like it
imagine
looks
like a
more
Greek
like an
gnome.
anime pin-up, like the worst anime pin-up for a gnome that you can imagine.
Okay.
And when Xander, you're pretty comfortable that this person's career nosedived. Originally, it was like, oh, it's provocative, it's great, and then suddenly there was this scandal, and it just shot his career.
Yes. Should we keep going?
However,
The house feel haunted.
not yet.
Okay.
You feel haunted by these statues, though.
Yeah. Yes, you sort of like you see Bethilde sort of looking at them and then looking away and then looking at them curiously and then looking away.
How big are the statues? Sorry.
Life-sized,
Gnome sized.
So
3 foot
okay.
tall.
How heavy?
You can take one.
Probably weigh about the same as you, most likely.
Okay. I don't have
So
hefty
about
hauler yet.
6 or 8 bulk, I would have thought.
Oh, right, okay.
So they'd be
Is he going
quite
to come
heavy.
back at some point?
Where the statues are they on the floor or are they on
They're
like
on
a
plinths.
plinth?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you push them gently and they don't rock.
I wouldn't push them.
Tuppence walks up to him and shoves them with his shield. It's like, I don't think there's any hidden passages underneath them.
Oh, you never know.
Why are we looking so long at these things?
I don't, look, we are,
Can't take
we
my eyes
are,
off them.
The numerous form. People can't take their eyes
I
off it.
spent a long time on ships, and let's face it, these things remind me of a lot of mastheads when it comes to certain pirates who really need...
Sailors, Tuppence. Sailors.
Forgive me, certain naval practitioners who need to compensate for their really poor pillaging.
This sad thing is, this is only the second most disturbing thing I've seen today.
I mean, it is pretty bad, really, isn't it? I can smash them if it'll make you feel better, Mr. Bunce.
No,
That was a
the
delightful
less
memory I
evidence we
shared
leave,
with you.
I look
What does she-
forward to more memory. No,
Perhaps we ought to move on rather than just
Duty.
standing in the
you don't
port.
want to know.
Would you like me to show you?
No, no.
Xander just like runs.
We need to go
By
now.
this point, you've moved into the... By this point, Minesh is into the hallway. After the decorative abomination of the porch, the hallway's slate flagstones and off-white walls are somewhat of a relief. A number of paintings are hung along either side of the room, which is about 5 foot wide. A blue coral tower, an impossibly high column of smooth grey stone, a black rune-carved spire under midnight skies, a familiar lighthouse, an inverted obelisk of dark red marble floating above cracked and blighted ground, and 3 radiantly beautiful nymphs frolicking in a spring. 3 doors lead off the hallway to the north, east, and west.
Bethilde sort of looks at the one with the frolicking nymphs and is like, "Oh, delightful! That would look very nice in the pub. I should get one of those." Does it have the artist on it? Does it have like a name on it?
Roll a society check. There's no name on it, but you might be able to remember.
Oh, I was nat 20.
At 20.
27.
You're pinging detect magic, aren't you, Xander?
Ping
You
is how whatever.
get a ping from behind the nymphs.
Good taste.
Something pings behind the nymphs. Bethilde, you look at these and you're like, oh, you remember somebody brought an art magazine to the Wandering Barnacle once, and you remember flipping through it, and most of these were in there actually. These are quite noticeable pieces that have passed hands in Absalom for quite some time. The Blue Tower is called Dreaming of the Blue Tower by Edward Van Eyck, and is the Blue Tower in Eastgate. The next one, the tall spire of impossibly smooth grey stone, is called In the Shadows of the Spire by Tully Winnipole, being the Spire of Nex, which is outside Absalom.
I was related all of this as we were walking along, looking at all of the paintings,
you've got-
like I'm showing at a gallery.
Seeking Edamira's Folly by Jin Harkensauce. Xander, roll a society check as Bethilde reels off the names of these pictures.
That's a 22.
22. Edamira. Edamira trips a memory for you. Edamira was an apprentice wizard to a guy named Misandroth Fiendlorn, who had towers all over the place that he left in the hands of his apprentices to study immortality. It makes you remember Fiendlorn's major thesis. If a demon can possess a human can possess a demon. You do know, from your reading, that Edamira's Folly is in Nidal, which is why the skies are black. Nidal is permanently under night skies because it's worshipped Zonkathon.
Oh, yeah, the pain dude.
Then you've got Visions of Absalom Lighthouse by Francis Diplock, which is the lighthouse that you recognise because it's on the coast of not far from where you are. The World Wounds Hanging Enigma by Thomasina Willowshade, which is the red marble, the inverted obelisk of dark red marble, which is far to the north in Sarkoris. And finally, Lovers of the First World by Nub Linugo.
Oh, yes. Isn't this lovely? Look at the nymphs frolicking.
You're pretty sure as well that they're all worth quite a bit of money if you could take them. However,
I wonder if he did miss this one. Maybe I should just borrow it. So if I try and like shuffle it a bit.
Before you do, I'm gonna stop that. Hold on, because you said that there was a detect magic ping
pings behind the nymphs.
stop you, and wordlessly, I just kind of take your hand away, and I move. Is it like on a hinge? You have to take
You
the
can
foot
lift the painting off. As you get near to it, you realise that this painting's been moved more recently than the others. A lot of them have a thin patina of dust, but this clearly has fingerprints on it where it's been lifted off.
Without taking my eyes away from the wall, I bring the painting down.
Roll a perception check.
Can I assist?
Yes.
Also
Roll your aid.
an AD check.
Mm-hmm.
Natty 19 plus 6, which is 25.
Yeah, plus 2.
Plus 2, that is 14.
14. You don't see anything on the wall. There's a ping of magic, and it feels like it's in the wall, but you can't see a way to open it.
Yeah, I'll have a look at the wall. That is a 23.
You notice, as he's running his hand across it, there's a very thin seam, which if he presses, and you reach in and bang the wall, and it just hinges open slightly, and you immediately, Xander, pull open this panel, and inside is a safe.
Oh, my favourite thing.
I feel like this is where my expertise ends.
Weren't we supposed to be finding out what's going on rather than just robbing this man?
Where do you put your dirty laundry?
We haven't taken anything, therefore we have not robbed anything. And as I said, the best way to find out what somebody's up to is to go through their things.
Okay, I just thought I'd check that this is not us breaking and entering and it's a theft and that we're going to steal things. That you're intending to look and then put it all back.
Technically, madam, we broke and entered the moment we stepped across the threshold.
And it's only a crime if you get caught.
That's what you said.
This is true. But
she doesn't remember what she said, so
it does sound like something I'd say. I don't think I remember us committing to stealing things, though. So maybe we shouldn't do that. And she sort of puts the painting
haven't stolen
back
anything
on the wall, like thinking about it.
Do you intend to keep one of these paintings?
No. I suppose not. Okay, let's put it back.
I mean, Mr. Xander, well, the thing is with these paintings, they're very famous, and if we tried to sell them, people would know where they come from.
All you do is you say it's a copy, and then they don't think it's the real one. Because of course, why?
Can't sell it for
why
what it's
would
worth.
you
But then it's
assume
not
they'd
sold
have
for
the
what
real
it's
one?
worth, and there's no point.
Yes, but if it costs you nothing, you still make money. That's
If
how
you could
theft
open this
works.
safe.
If you could all be quiet, I can concentrate on trying to break into this safe.
Yes.
Is it a
It seems to be a keyhole.
It's a key one, so it'd be a thievery.
Yes.
check.
Bertie, how's your alarm going?
Nothing so far. I was thinking of looking for alternative routes out of the house, if possible.
You certainly can. There are 3 doors, north, east, or west.
21.
21. Suddenly there's and you open the safe easily.
And what do I see in the safe?
Inside is a pouch that seems to be bulging with random geometric shapes.
Is it
vial
dice?
of red liquid. You open it up and it seems to be uncut gemstones.
Ooh. Says the person who didn't want to steal anything.
Your untrained
morals have
your untrained eye suggests they might be worth about 75 silver pieces.
Okay.
You also find a red vial of liquid.
Yep.
Or a vial of red liquid. 2 tufts of yellowish fur attached to little kind of tassels that you would tie around a belt.
I will pick up the wand and the touch of fear. Can I investigate them to see if I can figure out what they are?
Roll an Arcana check. Bertie, which door would you like to try?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, the one in the middle.
The one in the middle. So there's east and west are at the same point.
God damn it. East.
Go east. Okay, so you open the east door. Polished oak table and 6 straight-back chairs greet your eye, and these occupy the centre of a dining room. Bottles of various liquors are clustered on the tabletop, and an ornate chandelier of tarnished brass is suspended from the ceiling. You notice quite quickly that although there are some windows in this room, there isn't another door out of it. The dining table is very well made.
The windows to the back or the front? Or
To the front and the side of the house. So the windows
the
point
side
south
of the house might be a viable escape route.
Yeah, you could certainly open the windows from the inside and climb out of them to get out of the house.
Can I have a look? And is it like easy to get out from the side? Is there?
And you wander over to the window, and looking out of it, you see that the house extends for probably another 20 feet. It seems to go round in a right angle and then extend again. There seems to be a garden path coming from around the back of the house. You could easily climb out the window. It's probably a 4 to 5 foot drop, and then you could scurry back to the path and hop over the retaining wall.
Wonderful. Any of these booze look fancy?
Roll a perception check, see what there's there.
Rolled a 16 on Arcana.
16. It's minor healing potion.
Okay.
The wand is a bit more powerful than you were expecting. It would take you some time to figure out what that is, but it definitely gives you an arcane magic coming off of it. And the 2 tufts of hair are they're alicorn hairs, and they've been woven into what's called spell catalysts. If they are used at the time that you cast the stabilize cantrip, you can stabilize 2 creatures instead of 1, but you use it. It's a consumable. It's like a talisman for a spellcaster.
I have weird vomiting about the magical properties and stuff. And then I'll look for Bertie, can't find him.
What'd you roll?
26.
26. You see Bell and Whistle spiced rum, Thessalonian fire whiskey, Sambra Sambra gin, and Flaviol's peach and mango universal mixer.
I mean, I've had a lot about fire whiskey recently, so I'll shove that in my bag while no one's looking.
You grab the Thessalonian fire whiskey. The symbol on it, the label has this glorious looking woman in red dress that's flowing out, and you kind of vaguely like, isn't that the kind of an empress or something over there? Oh, anyway, Thessalon, weird place. Didn't exist for several thousand years until a decade or 2 ago.
In the meantime, you lady.
Leshy.
Minesh. Her name's Minesh.
Whatever your name is. You like heal at all?
I can heal.
Sorry, I thought we weren't thieving. Was that changed?
Close your eyes. Nothing happened.
Plausible
Bertie comes back out
deniability.
with a...
Fine, be
I
like
put
that
it in my
then.
bag
Yeah.
without them saying.
Bertie comes back out, his bag's on his back. And he's sort of...
Do we hear clinking?
Ah, Bertie. Apparently
No,
we've
he's
joined a
covering it.
theft.
Bertie knows what he's doing. He's wrapped it in tablecloth.
Yeah, so when I
or a
say
napkin.
apparently we've joined a theft, what do you react to that? Considering you've just stolen something.
I didn't want to judge too much when we broke into the house, but I did presume that there might be a chance. Now, obviously, if we need to persuade this person to give us information down the line, he might be less willing to do so if he suspects we've looted his house.
Or is the plan that we're going to try and make it look like there's been a great robbery and throw some things around and then try and convince him
I mean,
that
the
we
neighbour
will
said
rescue
that
him? Or
The neighbour said he's been AWOL for a week.
did they? I wasn't listening.
There is a neighbour that could also give a description of likely suspects if the house was found trashed.
Yes, we're not going to trash the house. We're just going to acquire things that are not ours.
I mean, I really, really think that this is not a great idea. I think
As you're
Well,
having
I was
that
gonna
conversation,
check.
you hear...
I'm
sorry, just quickly.
going to rush as far. I'm going to sort of throw Beauregard on the floor, try and hop on him as quick as I can, and jet off in the direction.
No, you're not. Don't do that.
She's gone.
Yeah. The snail's going at a super pace.
A super
snail pace.
I think I say snail's pace.
It's like at a comedy. It goes.
Tara.
Yes, I was just going to check the safe to see if there was like a false back or
There doesn't appear to be
anything.
anything else other than what's in the safe.
Okay. Well, I'll pocket the gems and then just close it back and be like, Xander, put the painting back.
Xander's already following the gnome on the snail as you turn and look.
Tuppence.
Oh, wait, look.
Do it yourself.
Wait, let's come back. And then he starts walking
No,
along the way.
we have to cover our
Bethilde,
tracks.
you crash through the door at the north end of this hallway, which is about 15 feet long, so it's not a great big hallway. And as you do, you see a kind of an open plan lounge. There's a living wood table and benches occupying one corner of this open plan room, while in another, a 3-piece suite is arranged in front of a cold and empty fireplace. A bucket of tinder and a coal scuttle are set beside the hearth, ready for the chill of Absalom's winter months. A large north-facing window offers a view of a garden in full bloom. And an Ayuvaran woman stands in the middle of the room, the left side of her body facing you. Her head is bowed as she looks down at the shattered remains of a vase on the wooden floor. Tears stream silently from her eye, rolling down her pale and puffy cheek.
Clarification, what's a Nivarian woman?
Ayuvaran woman,
Yeah.
half-elf.
Oi, what are you doing in this house? You don't live here.
Hot kettle.
Immediately.
And I sort of like, and I go sort of like, shh, so I sort of point at her as if I live there.
Immediately you say that, the woman turns to look at you, and your heart thuds with a sudden horror. While the left side of her body is unchanged, the right side is an amalgamation of sick and brutal tinkering. Part of her skull has been cut away, taking her right eye cheek and half her mouth, exposing her too much teeth and too much bone. But where you should see only blood and festering wounds are metal plates and clockwork gears. A tangle of coppery wire spills out of her open cranium like some kind of parasitic worm. As her weeping eye focuses on you, you hear a husky echo in the hollow of her ruined throat. Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! And she lunges towards you. Roll for initiative.
You can find us on your favourite social media platforms. You'll find links in the description below.
Thanks as always to Syrinscape for the amazing atmosphere and music. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com. You've just got to be using them at your gaming table because epic tales need epic music.
Thanks for listening. We've been Epic Tales and Critical Fails.